Yeah, hi there. These comments are for HCH, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. How are you doing today? It's about 7:50 on a Monday morning, and I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test. So here we go.
The speaking is talking about that teachers make learning more fun for the students.
I got to check your language use here. Hold on.
The speaking is talking about that teachers make learning more fun for the...
You want to say the speakers are talking about how to make learning more enjoyable, not that. So I think the word how is going to work better there. So that's a language use problem with noun clause connectors. So I'm going to say how works better than that.
Students. It says that students learn faster when teaching method is interactively. To illustrate,
I would say when the teaching method is interactive. So if you're using the be verb, you want to put an adjective after that, not an adverb. Now if you said this, students learn better when the teaching is done interactively, then you would use an adverb after the regular verb. So that's another language use problem. Be careful of your grammar.
Students will learn faster if the teaching uses some subjects. For example, using the number of pencil to shoot.
Now, when you're speaking in more of a monotone. The students learn better when the teaching is done interactively. The students can learn through demonstrations and role plays. You need to work on varying your intonation more. Now, how do you do that? You can go to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40, all of which will give you some great lessons on how to vary your intonation more.
The outcome of a problem. It also talks about some advantages.
Let's say it also talks about. So because it's singular, your verb should be singular. So put the third person S on the end of that verb.
Of this method. First, if teacher involved in students by some activities, the students...
Now let's go back. I think passive voice is a problem here.
Teacher involved in students by...
I would say if the teacher is involved with students, I think is probably better there. Let me check it one more time.
Of this method. First, if teacher involved in students by some activities.
How about this? Maybe if you want to use active meaning, say then teachers, according to the conversation, should involve students in activities. So maybe use the word should.
The students won't feel bored. Second, it can improve the relationship between students and the teachers. They will be friends. Third, children are willing to go to see a doctor if the doctor gives them some candy. So, students will like the class by teachers' teaching skill.
Okay, so on this one, minor language use issues, and the one thing that you can work on is when you're explaining the ideas, you want to explain them as they're coming from the source. Instead of saying the teachers should do this, the teachers should do that, you might want to say the speakers in the conversation argue that in order to make learning more interactive, teachers can. They also claim that teachers should do this, they should do that. In addition, the speakers finally say, right, so make sure that you're explaining this information as it's coming from the actual listening passage. Okay, let's take a look at the rubrics here. I can figure out your grade now. All right, so I think on this one you have some delivery problems, especially with intonation. Now remember, when I bring up a problem, I always have a solution. So go to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. I also think you're having some language use problems, particularly with noun clauses. So go to the grammar part of my course and study the lesson titled Noun Clauses. I think from the topic development standpoint, you want to make sure that you frame the ideas as they're coming from the listening passage, right? So that's also partly a language use problem because you're having problems with noun clauses. You're not sure how to do that. Again, you would say, the listening passage suggests that students can learn when learning is done interactively, or in the beginning of the response, because they're making some questions in the conversation, the students discuss how to make learning more interactive for students. The one student suggests that teachers can blah, 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 blah. The other student says teachers can do this, blah, 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 whatever. So I think overall, though, you understand what you've listened to, but you are having some some delivery and language use issues. Your score here, I'm going to put you at about 2.16 out of 4, 17 points out of 30 on this practice test. Now, if we take a look at the rubrics, or if we go to the TOEFL class, you might want to go to the syllabus right now so we can figure out your grade here. So if you go to page 9, so we have 2.16. That's going to put you at about 75. So what do? In order for you to improve your speaking right now, there's two things really. You need to improve your pronunciation and also your grammar, particularly your language use, and that is going to help you improve your speaking. It takes time though. You got to do a lot of study. As you do the grammar practice on my website, I recommend that you record and write down some of the sample sentences in a journal. That's going to help you pay more attention and help you learn more of what you're studying. All right, anyway, thank you for completing this practice test.